Hello, it's Heather with another vlog update on my mold detox. Today is Saturday, March 26th of 2022. I am in New York City for a little while. You can't see it, but it's a beautiful sunny day at least. I had a last minute opportunity to get out of my apartment to do a little house sitting and cat sitting for a bit, a friend of a friend, and I took it. I needed the change. And I needed to know if my apartment was really a factor in why I wasn't feeling good. It turns out it might be, but it's probably not the hugest factor. I have been, just today my headache is kind of off the charts. But I wanted to do this update because I wanted to log a couple of realizations that I think really matter for me and for my for the progression of things, and I wanted to note that. The first thing is I'm discovering people in my world and in my life don't quite understand what I'm going through. Even I didn't understand what I'm actually going through until I started treating the Lyme and sort of waking it all up and trying to detoxify it. I've not felt really good for about a month now and felt actually pretty terrible. And I started to see the logic of like, why do this anymore? Why be here? It's not living. It's absolute suffering. And, it was easy mentally to get into a pretty bad place of saying like, it's stealing my joy, my creativity, my friends, my relationships, my finances, my work, ability to work. Just it's stealing my whole life. And I sort of understood it, I need to flip that script, and being able to be in New York and get a little bit of a respite from the habits and the routines and sort of this stuckness of feeling. I just feel so stuck in Pittsburgh. Has really helped me kind of recommit to the process. I hired a virtual assistant to help me find resources, because if you're gonna heal, for me to go through this process requires a lot more support of all kinds. Like, I need to find community of people who understand what I'm going through and can be encouraging and empathetic, as opposed to like not knowing what to say or not knowing how to help, or maybe just not caring, which is sort of how I've been feeling about the people that I know, minus my roommate, who truly does get what I'm going through, and he's been great. But it's the kind of thing you can't ask the people that are in your life to help you with. I'm finding. So I hired someone, and so far so good, right? We'll see. I gave her a whole long list of organizations to vet for me to see if I might qualify for grants or loans or anything. And yeah, the second thing I realized is that healing is not half-assed. Like, that doesn't exist. You can't half-ass healing. You either do it or you're going in the opposite direction. I really feel that way at this point. And so if I'm going to detoxify, I need to provide my body with every possible support while I'm in that process. And that means like sauna sessions, or I don't know, enemas or lymphatic massage, like all of these things. There are so many resources available, and there's so many things that people say work, like red light therapy. I mean, all these things. And I don't do any of them because I don't have the resources. And by resources, I mean money primarily, but also the energy to take the time to research something and order something, to have it shipped to my place. Like, I've just been too overwhelmed with trying to figure out where I'm going to possibly live. So, yeah. So you don't half-ass it, you go all in. And I just being here in New York and taking these like beautiful long walks and just feeling, this is such a pretty neighborhood, and it's so easy to, it's so comfortable to me here, and I just really like where I'm at. I was inspired by being here and going like, okay, you know, Heather, you have to do this. You have to get through this and find out if it's possible to get into remission for this bacteria. Other options are not possible. Like I have to see, because on the other side, if I can get there, life could be so sweet. And that's worth believing in and committing to. Let's see, the other thing that I wanted to talk about is that you have to keep on living while you're healing. You have to keep on living while you're sick, even, or while you're under, you know, overburdened with pathogens. And I realized I'd been sort of stopping myself. So traveling was a big signal to myself that I'm going to do this no matter what. Hiring someone, I'm going to make plans, you know, I'm going to take action. So like this afternoon, I'm taking a 3-hour webinar on a topic that I find really interesting, and I'm just going to do it. Maybe it will feel crappy, but I'll have the recording later if I can't make it through the whole recording live, or the whole class live. Tomorrow I booked a practice room for myself so I can spend some time with a grand piano. I haven't played or sang. I don't have any I have no business sitting at a grand piano. Let's just put it that way. But I'm going to do it anyway. You know, I listened back through, this is sort of the double-edged sword kind of thing. How much time do I have? Okay. This is like the double-edged sword of my experience is like, I went back and I listened through some of my material because I had been thinking I'd make another record back in 2020. And I listened back through some of the material just like a week or two ago, and I was like, damn, this stuff is really good. Like, I do really have an album in here, and it's an album that I'm going to really enjoy giving to people. And I don't have the energy to do it. And it makes me, that's where I was feeling really sort of like getting in that kind of victim mindset of like, man, this thing is stealing everything from me. Everything that I want to do and want to be, it's like stealing it from me. And you know, I had to sort of flip it and just sort of sit back and go, no, Heather, like this is here for you on the other side. And if you want to make this record, first of all, you can do it anytime. You can start tomorrow if you want. Like, this is me talking to me. I'm not going to. I'm going to focus on other things like finding a clean place to live. But it's something that's there waiting for me. And if it still feels important, when I get there, I'll make a record, and it's going to be such a beautiful experience. So I'm holding on to that. And then, I want to link a podcast with this video to Dr. Diane Mueller, an interview that she did. She's one of the doctors at the clinic where I work at. And the way she describes Lyme and how to treat it and the reasons why you take the herbs and the nutrients that you take while you detoxify is just so, she's such a good speaker, and she's clearly a great teacher. I just want to link that in case anybody finds this video and needs resources, like find her, right? Like she'll get you started for sure. I was surprised that no one had ever explained to me why I was taking what I was taking in this last 3 months in the way that she described on this podcast. If someone had said that to me at the outset, I think I would have been better prepared. I was not prepared. All they told me is that it was really strong with no explanation. And, I'm never going to do another detox of Lyme or treatment of Lyme without asking a lot more questions, because this has been absolute hell, and it still is. I'm still in it. So, but my commitment is to keep going and to, I have to find out if I can beat this and get some semblance of those ordinary, normal pleasures back into my life in an ongoing, sort of consistent kind of way. That's worth everything. And I'm not going to give up. So that, I have a doctor's appointment in mid-April, and I should have my Marcons lab back around that time as well. And depending on what he says about the Lyme stuff, my guess is what we're going to be doing is pivoting back to making sure I get this mold piece handled. And so I'll probably do some more updates about that, especially if I find resources for how to relocate and maybe sort of log that process of finding a place. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go back to staring out the window and enjoying where I'm at. I will log in later.